Hello, students. Today I'll be sharing with you certain points which are related to the critical appreciation of the poem Break, Break, Break. First, I would like you all to just mark the literary devices used in this poem. To begin with, in the very first line, break, 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 there is a repetition of the word break along with the use of the literary device alliteration, as the br sound has been repeated in this particular line with break, break, break. In the second line, on thy cold grey stones, O sea. In this particular line, there is a repetition of the vowel sound O. Therefore, there is use of literary device assonance. Assonance is the literary device wherein the vowel sounds are repeated in continuation in a particular sentence. Along with assonance, the poet has also used apostrophe. Apostrophe is the literary device where you address someone or something. Here, the poet is addressing the sea as O sea. So, there is use of apostrophe as well as there is use of personification. Here, sea has been personified. Then, along with this, we even need to notice that in every stanza, there are 4 stanzas of 4 lines each. This is a poem of 16 lines, as I told you earlier. And in every stanza, we see that the second line rhymes with the fourth line. Okay? Now, let's move on to the second stanza. Now, here again, we need to notice that there is use of pictorial imagery. There is pictorial quality throughout the poem wherein we can easily picturize the scenes by reading the lines of the poem. Now moving on to the third stanza. Here just come to the third line of the third stanza. But oh, for the touch of a vanished hand. Now here there is a use of synecdoche. This is a literary device wherein a part is used to represent the whole. Here the vanished hand has been used to represent Arthur Hallam. Then moving on to the last stanza. Here again we see that there is repetition of the word break and there is use of apostrophe. Now along with these literary devices, if we analyze the entire poem as a whole, we can say that there is use of imagery in this poem, there is rhythm in the poem, there is musical quality in the poem. This poem is a lyric and it is simple in language, but it is intensely subjective. Okay. Now along with these points, I would even like to read out certain matter to you which you can include in your critical appreciation. The beginning of the poem is rhythmically intense as the speaker repeats the word break. This relentless rhythm builds a startling opening that is reminiscent of the sound of powerful waves crashing over rocks on a shoreline. The exact thing that the speaker focuses on in the first stanza, calling out to the sea and telling it to break upon the nearby stones. The alliteration in this line adds to this sense of emphasis as the br sound repeats 3 times. Similarly, there is use of assonance in the following line. And this pushes the effect of this repetition even further, making it sound even more untiring. On the whole, the speaker's use of apostrophe to address the sea not only establishes the setting of the poem, clarifying that the speaker is standing on the shoreline, but also highlights that the speaker sees the surrounding environment as quite harsh. Break, break, break. This poem is supremely felt, simple, and disciplined, which will forever stand among the world's great laments. Hallam's death not only nourishes Tennyson's elegiac gifts It also sharpens the opposing forces within the divided sensibility, his grief simultaneously encouraging retreat into solitary brooding and demanding a need to advance. The sound of the poem and the poignancy of its anguish have such power to take captive our eye and heart that we sometimes miss the beauty half concealed within it. So, students, you can include this matter and these particular points which I discussed earlier in your critical appreciation, and you can elaborate each and every point in your own words and in your own way. So, with this, we conclude the poem Break, Break, Break. But along with this, I even need to mention a few points regarding the theme of the poem, which I missed. There are three major points which we can highlight regarding the themes covered in this particular poem. One we already know, that is escapism. The poet wants to escape from this world in which he can only feel the grief within him and is unable to partake in the happy ongoing activities around him. Along with this, there is a theme of loss and impermanence. Now, the speaker or the poet in this poem, Break, 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 for him the fleeting nature of life is deeply troubling. And the poem implies that the speaker is mourning someone's death and being forced to face the fact that this person will never return. Although the poem doesn't clarify the circumstances of the speaker's loss, it is clear that it has thoroughly unsettled the speaker, who can't even stare out at the ocean without feeling tormented by the knowledge that everything in life eventually comes to an end. Everything around the speaker serves as a reminder that life is fleeting. Even the waves crashing against the shoreline represents this idea of impermanence, since these waves no longer exist in their original form once they have broken over the rocks. This reinforces the idea that nothing in the natural world lasts forever. And because people obviously exist in the natural world, this also holds true for everyone who has ever lived. With this in mind, the speaker watches two children playing happily together and knows that someday their youth will be a thing of past. Similarly, the young sailor singing nearby will someday be an old man, and the speaker will soon lose sight of the grand boats in the bay as they disappear from the horizon on their way to some unknown destination. Affronted by all of these ideas of change and transition, the speaker is unable to deny the impermanence of all things. This thought process is made evident by the fact that the speaker goes from considering the retreating ships to wistfully remembering the touch of a vanished hand, a phrase that underscores the speaker's dismay that humans effectively vanish after death. In the same way that the ships fade into the distance, humans also drift away from life. Another important theme of this poem is the difficulty which the poets find in moving on with his life. Stricken by grief, the speaker can hardly imagine a world in which it might be possible to embrace happiness and undertake normal activities like sailing in the bay. However, the speaker doesn't need to imagine a world like this, since this kind of carefree joy is playing out directly before the speaker's eyes. Despite the speaker's grief, the world carries on like normal. To put it in another way, this equation in this particular poem emphasizes the fact that what the speaker feels in this moment is at odds with the simple reality that the rest of the world is proceeding unbothered. The Speaker's pain has to do with the fact that life has to go on even though the speaker has been immobilized by grief. To illustrate the tension between the speaker and the external world, Break 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 plays with contrasts. As I told you earlier, that contrast, the element of contrast runs throughout the poem. For instance, the first stanza presents a bleak setting, calling the stones on the shoreline cold and grey, and pairing this somber image with the speaker's inability to utter the troubling thoughts that continue to arise within him. This clearly establishes the speaker's unhappiness, but the second stanza deviates from this gloomy tone as the speaker watches children playing nearby and a sailor singing in the bay. Suddenly, the cold and grey landscape of the poem transforms into a more light-hearted setting, one in which people go about their lives in a carefree manner. This illustrates just how little others are affected by the speaker's grief. Indeed, what the speaker sees as an irrecoverable loss, the outside world doesn't even notice. So students, with this we finally conclude the poem Break Break Break. So I have all in all summarized the critical analysis of the poem in this last lecture of mine related to this poem Break Break Break. So I would request you to make notes after listening to these videos related to the poem Break Break Break, and you can prepare your own summary and your own critical appreciation of the poem based on these videos and the notes which I will be sharing with you in the upcoming days. Thank you.